We love Tomorrowland. So for those of you that probably have never been, we have a little bit of a sneak peek for you.
Might be young at heart, but we're still dreaming, eyes wide open. We leave this place behind, no matter what they say. Yeah, 'cause we're stronger than iron. We won't let them break us down. Now we're heading over the clouds, 'cause we're walking on air, walking on air, feeling high over the surface, walking on air. Yeah, we're walking on air, walking on air, going way beyond the horizon, walking on air. Ain't gonna calm down. Oh 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 oh. Ain't gonna calm down. Oh 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 walking on air. The sky has opened up. We start our engines, countdown from 10. Kiss the sun goodnight and go where no one goes. Yeah, 'cause we're chasing desires up above the city lights. Yeah, we're burning like fire now, 'cause we're walking on air, walking on air, feeling high over the surface, walking on air. Yeah, we're walking on air, walking on air, going way beyond the horizon, walking on air. Ain't gonna calm down. Oh 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 yeah yeah oh 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 oh. Ain't gonna calm down. Oh 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 walking on air. They won't reach us. No, they can't touch us. Ain't gonna calm down. They won't reach us. No, no, no. They can't touch us. Walking on air.
So to get to Tomorrowland for us, being down under in Brisbane, Australia, is roughly about a 32-hour flight. Totally worth it though, to get to a lovely place in Europe called Boom in Belgium. Boom is like its own little town that is basically specifically built just for Tomorrowland for the 2 weekends of the year that all of us are lucky enough to travel down for.
Tiny little town, very few people I can imagine live there sort of day to day. Massive big park and recreational area just that gets totally transformed. It's a totally different sort of setting. The first time we went to Tomorrowland was completely unexpected. You know, we were going in from the main city. You can either get in from Brussels or you can get in from Antwerp. We came in from Antwerp. Going down the highway, you know, the taxi will take you off the highway, bring you down a whole heap of little suburban streets and drop you off at a little roundabout where you kind of have to make your way through a sort of a maze of a few small streets.
Literally houses that look like gingerbread like houses, you know, like the little tiny European flowers in the little boxes on the windows and everybody kind of saying hello. So really small and quaint, but really cool.
You know you were in the right place though, because nearly every single house in the area has a Tomorrowland flag out the front. So some of the people apparently they escape for the festivities and allow the residents come in, so you can look for things like Airbnb in the local area. And then as well, a lot of the residents just getting into it. I mean, many a time we've gone in there both in the morning. There are some people out there doing a sausage sizzle
or selling drinks,
or on the way back home selling loads and loads of water to help you rehydrate for the night. So it's great to see that not only is it a festival that's in a small little town, that little town hopefully gets to benefit from it as well. It's great to see that they get into it. In all the years we've been there, this year will be our 4th year at the Tomorrowland Festival. And I can safely say we really haven't seen any altercations between the hundreds of thousands of people who go there and attend and the local residents. Everybody is there, everybody's fun. Even some of the places they have guest books, out the front where you can sign your name to say who you are, where you're from. It's just a really different feel. Compare it to any other music festival we've been. It really just has a feeling and a momentum all of its own.
So you may ask, when is this magical time of the year? Well, nowadays, because there are so many people that literally want to go that it sells out in seconds, they've actually created 2 weekends. So you can now go on one of the 2 weekends of the year. The lineup does change a little bit, so do keep an eye out for that. But look, it's normally the last 2 weekends in July, the heat of European summer, so probably bring some shorts.
And a jacket, because it can get quite cold too.
Actually.
And it rains.
Yes, so maybe some gum boots. Look, you really have to be flexible going to Tomorrowland. You will see all kinds. Get ready to put some face paint, some body glitter, and maybe stilts or two.
And I think, that's a funny thing as well. I mean, you mentioned that now Tomorrowland does it for 2 weekends of the year. The tickets do sell out in seconds. Trust me, being here in Brisbane, we're on the other side of the world. I'm up 2:30 in the morning trying to buy tickets to Tomorrowland. And I can tell you for the last 3 years in a row, I've been in there, I've tried opening like 50 windows, I've tried using different computers, I've tried every single way I can to try and get the tickets, and trust me, they go out in minutes, and you get a notice about 30-40 minutes saying, I'm sorry, you never made it to the front of the
All
queue.
sold.
But, you got to weigh your chances. We have managed to successfully gone there 3 times. So I probably want to give you a little bit of an insight as to how we got there. A lot of people have seen online, and you probably, if you've sort of Googled it, Tomorrowland tickets, the first site that really comes up is the Viagogo site. A lot of controversy around the site online. We see lots and lots of reviews, people calling it scam. We were like that in the first year, like, are we going to get in?
It's really scary when you buy your first ticket and you don't even know if you're going to get laughed at when you go to pick it up.
And particularly because, it's upwards of, $1,000, €600-700 euros,
and you have to get your backside over there to begin with.
Absolutely. So a couple of things. I mean, we've successfully gotten our tickets from Viagogo 3 years in a row, no issues whatsoever. So, they buy your tickets on the site. Do watch the prices. The prices do go up and down. We certainly have seen in the past the prices sort of have a quick peak just after the global ticket sales have been released. They kind of drop off and they kind of escalate all the way up towards the festival. So don't really think they're going to get too much cheaper. They might.
So don't get really disappointed because you didn't get them on the mainstream market and then rush straight to Viagogo and be like, I need to pay this now, because literally the first week the prices skyrocket. So take a breather, wait maybe 2 weeks and then buy them at that point, but don't leave them too long because they do keep climbing as the time gets closer.
The genuine tickets, they're anywhere from a single day, 100, 150 euros through to the full weekend, 270 odd euros. The first time we did it, we rushed straight in, and we paid.
Don't do that.
We paid nearly $850 Australian for a 1-day pass.
Each.
And successfully each time now we've been able to get the tickets for about $700 to $800 for all 3 days. So each. So
still worth it.
Definitely don't rush into it. I think as well, if you look at the tickets, there are a few different ticket types. We've always done the standard tickets. being just the standard, I guess, mainstream passes. This year will be our first year going as Comfort Pass members. So a lot of questions have been out there as to whether Comfort Pass or normal pass. So stay tuned.
We will let you know post-July.
The other thing is, once you do get your Viagogo tickets, if that's the way that you've gone, the way to get your tickets, Tomorrowland actually have a call desk where you go to. You literally just walk up to there.
Bring your passport.
Bring your passport, yes, definitely, and bring your identification. Bring your piece of paper that you get from Viagogo. They exchange it for a bracelet. Unfortunately, you don't get the treasure case, but you get to go to the festival. So. The other downside to that is because you don't have your bracelet before you go, you won't be able to pre-top up. So we'll go through a little bit in a moment in regards to the cashless system that Tomorrowland have that allows you to buy things like food, drink, and all the relative experiences inside Tomorrowland.
Awesome. So I guess we've covered how to get tickets, roughly what cost they are. So, I think Mikey is probably going to be the best one to describe what kind of music they're going to be having there, because to be honest, when we first started going, like year one, I was really a hip-hop kind of girl, and EDM and deep house was kind of like, what is this strange shit I can't dance to? But you know what? Tomorrowland really did it for me. So I am a die-hard fan now, but I think I'll give it to Mikey to explain what kind of music there is.
Look, all the major DJs from around the world, and I know you are a deep hip hop R&B type of fan, but the great thing is there is a bit of a mix there. I mean, it is mainstream EDM, trance, house. You've got your hardcore stages. I guess the great thing about it is they do try and mix it up. They are going for a great range. I mean, for those of you who've been to a lot of festivals and a lot of different places we've been to, it's generally always been a young crowd. Tomorrowland is full with a diverse crowd. Not only is it, I believe, one of the most attended events on earth by different countries, but it's also a huge range. When we first went there, we thought to ourselves, are we going to be the oldest two people?
Literally 29 and 30.
Yeah, are we going to be the oldest two people at this sort of rave concert? That's just going to be awkward. And when we got there, we actually felt quite young. I mean, there were a lot of people, and when I say a lot, I would say almost half the crowd would probably be our age or older.
Definitely, like maybe up to 50s, although last year, on day 3, I was literally like, I'm out, I'm just watching this, I'm chilling on the big hill, and this 75-plus-year-old man was literally breaking it down.
If you're watching, keep going, man.
But literally, there are so many people from different ages. I'd probably say, your 20s are kind of like the missing ages in that space, because most of the people are like late 20s, all the way up to like 50 and 60. And, because of that, it's really just a place to have really good fun. It's not like, your typical Australian festival where it's really just a booze fest. Everyone's kind of like, in that kind of cliquey position where they're not really meeting new people, and there's a lot of fights. Like these ones, literally 4 years, I haven't seen one fight. It's like, you've got your Aussies with the Aussie flag, you've got your Indians, your Israelis, your Canadians, and literally like everyone's grabbing each other's flags, everybody's kind of like talking and getting along, and it's really a global community.
And that raises an excellent point. Bring your flag. One of the most common things that the DJs will ask you to do is hold up your flag. Don't be the guy without your flag. Everybody in the audience has their flag. Show your colors. Be proud of where you're from. If you don't like where you're from, grab somebody else's flag, but bring a flag. That's the main one.
And you know what? When it rains or when it gets too sunny, just lift it up Everyone else does.
But don't drop it on the ground. That's
No.
that's not good.
Not good. Not good at all.
But how
I guess
about safety? I mean, you've got like so many people. I mean,
that is very, very true. I'm a little bit of a freak out kind of person. And I guess especially with, global shit that's happening, I freak out a lot. So even last year, I was like, Michael, is this a good idea? My parents and his parents are like, Charlie, are you too insane? And you know what? From the moment you step off your airplane or off your train, literally there is so much security there, nothing can literally happen. Like there are armed police, there's armed security, knock on wood, yes, very, very sure. And you know what? They check everybody before they get in. They check all your backpacks. So you know what? We will chat about backpacks and lockers. Totally unnecessary though. And it is a drug-free zone. So keep all your medication at home.
But from a safety perspective, I mean, don't be too put off. I mean, when you arrive in either Antwerp or Belgium, you will see a fairly heavy armed presence. There's a military walking around there with their machine guns. They're there for your safety. They do keep things very well under control. They really don't bother you. They're not there to mess or interject.
They're really nice, and they're just doing their job. And like Michael said, knock on wood, it's been really safe. Everyone's just there to have a good time.
The other thing as well, when you go into the festival, they try and break up the crowd so that there's no big areas with huge groups of people out in the streets all in one spot at any one time. The buses drop you off into little, I guess, secret type of areas where the cars can't get to and other vehicles can't get to. You go through security. If you do bring a backpack of any sorts, they're going to go through your backpack on a separate checkpoint. Once you go through that checkpoint, they will get you to unload everything. So just like airplane security,
pack it in a clear bag.
Pack it in a clear bag. If you forget the clear bag, they're going to give you them.
They will give you a baggie.
But they are going to check everything. You're going to go through all the usual X-ray scans and all the rest. And it does give you a really good sense of security.
Safety.
Safety and security. A lot of people have also asked in the past, can I bring my camera? It's the one thing Tomorrowland really encourages. The only thing that they say is no professional cameras. So these days just about any camera is sort of a semi-pro. They'll probably just try and avoid the stalker lens, if you know what I mean. I think that's really what they're looking out for.
There's not enough room at the front for a stalker lens anyway. So maybe stick to your GoPros, your Osmos, anything DJI. What are those little things that fly in the air called?
No drones.
No drones.
Yeah.
No one wants a drone accident. So probably stick to your little ones. It does sometimes rain, so if you really, really love your camera or spent heaps of money on it, probably don't bring it.
Yeah, and that's probably a really good point as well. I mean, we're talking about security. I'm sure there is, whilst we haven't had it, once again, sort of knock on wood, I'm sure there are people out there who are sort of pickpocketing or doing small little bits and pieces. A couple of tips that were given to me at quite an early age. Just simple things like if you've got a mobile phone and it slips easy in your pocket, either have pockets that you can either zip up or have a button. Alternatively, if you don't have that option, just get a big thick rubber band and put it around it, and that will actually keep it in your pocket nice and secure. The other thing that you want to try and do is, just really be careful. The number of times that we've been on the dance floor trying to help somebody because they've been dancing around and their mobile phones jumped out of their pockets and they're trying to look between
sunglasses.
All the people's feet, all the sunglasses.
Sunglasses is a big one.
Just to be careful. I mean, particularly when you're in those mosh pits, particularly when you're in those big dance areas. And as it gets late at night, the sun goes down. It becomes even harder to see. If you've lost it, to be honest,
it's gone.
Yeah, it's probably lost.
It's gone. And if your sunglasses do fall, say goodbye. There's too many feet. It's gone. So I guess that brings us to a little bit more info. Maybe let's hit the lockers. So Tomorrowland is really, really amazing in the fact that as you enter, they have these great big chunks of lockers. So, all your valuables, cameras, bits and pieces, you get a code, so it's not like anybody else can go through, and it is at the entrance that is all the time looked after. The only thing is being a woman and I like having my stuff around. Most of the time I have brought a backpack to be honest, it's totally not necessary. The only thing we really use the lockers for is, I guess, for like spare batteries for our cameras or, you know, our GoPros, or a jacket, because Belgium is almost like Melbourne. It's like 4 seasons in one day. So you wake up, it's steaming hot. Towards the middle of the day, it might rain a little bit, and then it gets freezing cold towards the night. So that's basically all we use the lockers for, but backpacks, not really necessary.
Yeah, look, try and go light. You know, the lighter the traveller you are, you're going to be spending your entire time almost on your feet.
And on the dance floor.
Anything that you have, well, hopefully you're on the dance floor on your feet. But, you know, you're going to be on your feet. You know, try and keep your load to a minimum. So if you are going to bring something like a backpack, put them inside one of the lockers. You know, the other thing is, you might want to store things like, you know, your rain ponchos or things like that. They do have ponchos at the festival in case it starts raining.
They're very hard to find though.
And they go out quickly. So
maybe bring your own. You know, you can get them all over the internet. So maybe just hide a little something in your locker, just in case you need it. And probably plan that whatever shoes you're wearing, you're gonna say goodbye to at the end of the festival, just in case. Because, you know, I think maybe 2 out of the 3 times there's been some rain when we've gone.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, you know what? The rain really it can add to the atmosphere, and it often does. But yeah, obviously what you don't want to be doing is, you know, it being freezing cold. Expensive shoes, you know, soaking wet, you know, windy, you know, all that sort of stuff. Yeah, it can get quite miserable, you know, if you don't get prepared. Particularly, yeah, sloshing through the mud and, you know, getting all sorts of, well, some people love that, I suppose. But I guess, you know, why do we keep going back? I mean, you know, this is now our 4th year. You know, we live in Australia. You know, the price for us to get over there, including tickets, you know, we've probably spent, well, at least 20 or 30 grand getting to this festival now for over the last 3 years, 4 years, including this year.
Worth every cent.
But why? I mean, you know, I guess, you know, a lot of people ask us, is it worth it? You know, what's the difference? You know, is it just any old festival? And
no, it's...
To me, it's I think it's the atmosphere and just the immersiveness of the atmosphere. You know, just, you know, you don't walk into just, you know, a steel stage with, you know, a couple of lights on the outside. You're talking full-blown productions, full-blown themes. You're talking, you know, stages in the middle of a park. We've got stages that overlook other stages. You've got, you know, areas that are in tiny little caves.
Rainforest stages. That was my favorite from last year. The new one.
I'm sorry, guys, we didn't get any video in there. We will get some for you this year.
We were a little bit surprised to find it. It was kind of like through a little bridge, down a little nook and cranny, and then suddenly, bam. Really, really great clean toilets there, by the way, so just FYI. But look, Tomorrowland is a festival like no other. Like, I think the stats from last year were like over 400,000 people, over 200 countries. So to give you an idea, that meant that I think there was only like 4 countries, they said, that weren't represented. One of them was the Vatican, so hopefully maybe the Pope will come next year. You never know.
Think he'll bring his Pope-mobile?
God, that would be amazing. But look, they're really multicultural. Everyone really gets into it, like whether it's, you know, a kangaroo blow up or a llama blow up, or, you know, wearing body paint in your flag, or...
Unfortunately, there are a few mankinis, but...
There are a lot of mankinis, actually, not a little.
That's not encouragement.
No, please don't. But it's really multicultural as well, like especially the food, which we will get to in the next segment. The food is incredible. Do not think it is like, you know, soggy chips and a couple of dodgy hot dogs. Like, we are talking gourmet and a lot of it.
We'll give you a couple of sneak peeks of the food that's in Tomorrowland in some of our videos.
I still dream about it. So there is so much to cover when it comes to Tomorrowland that it's really hard to kind of fit it into this, you know, 10, 15 minute kind of time slot. So we didn't want to rush. So catch us in the next episode. We will be talking everything bracelets. Tomorrowland does give you jewelry. How to get around. Cashlessness, so don't worry about cash, don't worry about credit card. They've made it super easy. And I guess the different ways that you can be a Tomorrowlander. So I guess Mikey will chat to them later.
Thanks, Charlie.
See ya.
See ya.